How's it going, everybody? My name is David and welcome to Everything Economics. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about this concept of inflation. I'm not going to be going so much into like the metrics and the graphs of that sort, but more to give you a macro, a wide perspective on what inflation is. So before I get into inflation, I want to show you something special, and it's here in my wallet. Here in my wallet, I have a bill, a special bill from, let's zoom into this right here. Boom. Venezuela, printed in 1998, a 50 bolivares. Probably not pronouncing it right, but that's okay for this video. This right here in 1998 could probably buy you, let's just say, a small lunch or a snack. But fast forward to 2021, put that in the exchange rate of 50 bolivares on Google, right? Exchange rate on Google, put in 50 bolivares to USD, United States dollars, and I want you to guess how much this thing is worth in United States dollars. Yes, give me a number. This thing is worth right here less than 1 US cent. Less than 1 US cent. I think it's 0.00004, something like that, to US dollars, right? Something crazy. And this right here is a perfect example of what inflation is. And I know you guys might be asking, like, hey David, we don't know what inflation is. What's inflation? Well, that's why you tuned into this video, and that's what I'm going to be getting into right now. Okay, so what is inflation? The basic explanation, or the basic definition of inflation is more dollars chasing less product. Less product. Okay, so inflation, more dollars chasing less product. So what happens here is, like a good example would be, let's just say you have $5. Oh, that is not a 5 at all. Okay, sorry. Okay, let's just say you have $5 US, okay? Oh my gosh, okay, the dollar sign goes in front. Okay, $5 US, okay guys? And right now, let's just say equals 2 cheeseburgers. 2 cheeseburgers. And let's just say the US government goes on its rampage of inflating the dollar and depreciating the dollar. And depreciating, for you guys who don't know, is depreciating means goes down in value. Appreciation means goes up in value. So as inflation keeps on going and the US dollar keeps on depreciating, and let's just say, let's fast forward 10 years from now, that $5 you had in your pocket, oh my gosh, shoot. Okay, that $5 you had in your pocket might only equal up to maybe only 1 cheeseburger, or maybe even only a half of a cheeseburger. And that's essentially what happens during inflationary times, okay? Let me erase this. Okay, so now let's specifically zone into how does inflation affect the market, okay? You know, in a macro perspective, and who does it affect, okay guys? How and who? So on average, inflation is about 2% per year. This year is different. This year, crazy stuff happened, okay? And we can go into that later. But on average, the government tries to aim for 2% of inflation. So what that means is, say you have $1 in your pocket. 1 year later, 2% inflation. That $1 is only equal up to 98 cents. Okay, you following? So with 2% inflation, what happens? Let's go to the business side. What do businesses do when they see this number of 2% inflation? I work at McDonald's, and I think McDonald's is just a perfect example. So McDonald's right here, the business, McDonald's, okay? They see this 2% number. What do they decide to do? Because essentially 2% inflation means 2%, the company is worth less than 2% of value, and everything on the menu is essentially 2% less, okay? So what they do is they raise prices. They raise prices. They say this number. They're like, okay, we need to raise prices at least 2% to keep up with inflation, at least 2%. But most likely, they're like, hey, why don't we just raise it to 3, 4, or even 5%? So now you have cheeseburgers not costing $1. Now you have cheeseburgers no longer on the dollar menu. No more dollar menu for McChickens and things of that sort. Now those things are about $2.50, and you can blame that on inflation here. Right there, right here, guys. Inflation is the reason for the extinction of the dollar menu. Now you guys know. So the other thing is here's the business side, and then on the individual side so it affects what? What is this? Consumer prices, right? consumer prices, cheeseburgers, McChickens going up in price. Also things like gas and rent and those things. Excuse me. Secondly, the bank accounts. Bank accounts is also one of the big factors, okay? Bank accounts. Can you guys see that? Okay, bank accounts. And we'll go into that later, right? So we can break up, okay, so the how, right? So what kind of affects is like, that's like the basic thing. So essentially when there's inflation, consumer prices go up. That's the main effect, okay? And also now, who does it affect specifically? So we can break up our society into, let's just say 3 basic categories. So we have group 1, group 2, and group 3. Okay? So let me get my red marker. So the first group is, group 1 is the lower class, group 2, middle class, and as you guys could probably already follow, the upper class, group 3. And as you guys probably already know, or you guys might not know, and that's okay, the first 2 groups, lower class, medium class, are the most affected groups by inflation. The reason why the upper class isn't affected as much by inflation is because of one thing, okay? One thing. And let me get my blue marker for this one. It's because they have investable, right? INV, investable assets. And what those are, investable assets, are things like stocks, bonds, real estate, gold, things of that sort that appreciate in value, that go up in value, okay? Because these people, the upper class, aren't saving their wealth in US dollars that are depreciating by at least 2% per year, but they're investing in assets that go up, okay? But on the other hand, with the lower and the medium class, right? Lower and the medium class, the main reasons why these are the two, I don't want to say beneficiaries, but why inflation affects these 2 groups the most is, number 1, middle class. Here's the big one for middle classes. They are savers. They save most of their money in things of like in a checking or savings account in Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, something of that sort, right? So as they're saving, let's just say they have $100,000, right? Every year, that $100,000 goes down by 2%. So that $100,000 that you had saving, now that's only worth, what, $98,000, right? So the middle class who saves in US dollars that hold a dollar that is depreciating in value, that's why they're hurting. That's why they are hurt during inflationary times. Lower class, I'm just going to put spending right here. Spending. And I'm not saying that the lower class is spending too much. It's just that when consumer prices are going up and they're spending relative to their income. So most people in the lower class, they are spending almost, they're basically living paycheck to paycheck. And when you're living to paycheck and the cost of gas, the cost of rent, the cost of food keep going up, that's going to hurt their wallets, where they might not be able to pay their rent, even if it's 2%, where if the rent is $1,000 every single month and then goes up 2%, they might not have that $20. That $20 is taken away from food or from gas or something of that sort, or even for education. So that's why the lower class are hurt the most, okay? So spending, right, and saving. Spending based on relative income. Let me just clarify on that. Okay, so if you guys are gonna take anything out of this video, I want you guys to remember this. So like my advice is for the lower class and the middle class, and this is not gonna fix poverty or might not even fix your situation, but what you wanna be doing is get investable assets, right? You want to be holding your wealth in assets that appreciate in value. So we have things like, again, stocks, bonds. Not really bonds, but I would focus more on like stocks and index funds and things of that sort. Then there's real estate. Then there's things like gold and Bitcoin's like one of the questionable ones too, but that's also an asset that recently has been appreciating, that has been going up in price. But that's the main idea right here, is to get investable assets, right? That appreciate in your value, so that you're not infected, or not infected, but affected by inflation, okay? And here's the scummiest part, right? So the US government is the main reason why our US dollar has been inflated, right? And I don't want to go too much into the technical parts about like supply and demand, but basically the government, right here, I'm gonna go down here, right? The government they inflate our currency, so our money is worth less. So if we're making 2% less, our wealth is worth 2% less, it's like, hey, let me try to get a raise. But let's just say your employer gives you a 2% raise, okay? Okay, 2% raise. The scummy thing is when they give you that 2% raise, the government's like, hey, this person is making more money, and they'll put you in a higher tax bracket and tax you more money and take more money from you, even though that 2% raise happened because of the 2% inflation, right? So that is what makes me so heated, guys. That is what makes me so frustrated. So let's just start recapping everything, okay, guys? So inflation is more dollars chasing less products, okay? When inflation is at 2%, that's on average, right? When there's inflation, what you'll see is consumer prices go up, bank accounts, right, saving go down. Those are the two main effects, okay? And then who does it affect? Mostly the lower class and the middle class. Why? Because the spending of the lower class they're spending higher relative to their income, right? And then secondly, the middle class, because they're big savers and saving the US dollar within their bank accounts. And the reason why the upper class are separated from these two other classes is because they have investable assets. So I hope you guys learned something from today's video. I hope I was clear. I hope it was enjoyable. And I hope you guys have a great day. If anything, give me a topic so I can make more videos of something that you're more interested in, or like a new topic that you've always wanted to learn about economics or business or personal finance or something like that. But after that, or in conclusion, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.